Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. A lot of people are asking me, from clients to colleagues to friends to non-friends, is it okay to wear white after Labor Day? And I'm here to address the elephant in the room. I really thought the only people that would care about this are brides, because they have to wear white regardless, and let's be honest, there is such thing as a wedding after Labor Day. But let's be honest, brides are becoming more and more non-traditional. I'm firsthand to see that and say that. But we're here to talk about this. We're here to talk about where this fashion rumor comes from and how it's applicable to everyday living, fashion, whether you should take it seriously, and just what to do with this information. Okay, ready? Let's get into it. So the original rule came about in the 1800s. So when you think about that time, people were wearing a lot of layers of clothing, and they were working to transition into the fall. So there was a lot of wool, there was a lot of heat, it was really hot, and I mean, we're in the South, or at least I'm in the South, in Savannah. So we're not wearing all those layers really at any point in the year. But in the 1800s, of course they were. Labor Day became an actual holiday in the late 1800s. So this whole rule kind of came about as a way to transition from hanging out at the beach so much to becoming a little bit more tailored and prepared for the fall. So in other words, this was for people with money, real money. So being that it was for that, that's why the fashion industry kind of clinged on to it and tried to make it one of those things, one of those trends. And it really just stuck. I mean, when you think about it, even my church does not wear white for communion from September all the way up until Easter of the next year. We wear all black for communion every month. A missionary Baptist church. So even the church picked up on this, right? And church, I mean, it's a completely different sector as far as the fashion industry is concerned, but now we see how penetrating that rumor has become. And honestly, the way this rumor kind of picked up and, kind of came from the higher part of society, this kind of speaks to why people that are in style or in fashion, or why fashion-esque people kind of come off as this highfalutin society that is a little bit snobby, because it always went for the higher end earning, higher end part of society. So that's why some people are not so attracted to it, and why it kind of triggers some negativity when it comes to you being in style and walking in the room confident. But I'm here for elevation. I'm here to give you the information and tell you what to do with it. Do I think you can wear white after Labor Day? Who doesn't? Honestly, my mom and her mom are not fans of white, period. Actually, if it's not a t-shirt or underwear, they don't do it. White jackets, white pants, all that good stuff. It's just another excuse to be careful where you sit, where you go, what you touch, where you stay, all that good stuff. And then if you wear something white, or God forbid, all white, and get something on that white, now the attention is to whatever is on your white. Whatever is on your white. So nobody's focused on what you're saying. Nobody's focused on how good your hair looks. Nobody's focused on the jewelry that you just got. Nobody's focused on what you have to say. And let's be honest, when you're talking, you want people to be focused on what you have to say. Or at least majority of my audience are people that want to be taken seriously when they walk in a room. So we're gonna elevate a little bit and make sure we're careful with our white, right? I'm a huge fan of ivory because it photographs as white, no matter what skin complexion it's up against. So I'm the biggest fan of ivory. I keep a lot of ivory in my closet. You might see me wear bright white for Communion Sunday at church, but right now we're in the midst of a pandemic, so my bright white is at the back of my closet. But as far as white is concerned, I just try to keep it in pieces when it comes to the fall and winter, because we hear things like all white parties, we hear about the winter whites, but when it comes to professional dress, we have to remember some things, especially how it applies to our body type. So for me, I'm not really wanting to wear anything white around the midsection. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. If anybody else is suffering like me, the midsection is just a little bit bigger because of COVID, but it's okay, it's okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna avoid white in those areas, along with other areas that we wanna dim down from. So just little accents of white is okay. Be very careful about wearing white to other people's white occasions, like weddings. We don't wanna do that. And then also we want to make sure we don't wear white where we don't want to photograph bigger. So I'm very careful about that. If I wear like white, it's usually like a white blazer or a white accent piece. So I look really good in blazers. They're padded, they kind of give that structure, and I'm tall, so my blazers are always a little bit longer. They come down to the waist area, like I mentioned before in a previous YouTube. But what it does is it kind of lengthens me. I make sure my blazer, you know, has that shape that's natural on the sides. I wear it open, so there's not this indication that it's too small or too tight. It kind of gives me that structure and that balance, and with my rose gold name tag on it, it just pops. And it gives that nice, clean look to the all black outfit that 99% of the time I'm wearing underneath it. All black. Most of the time you'll see me in all black. But yeah, that's what I do when it comes to white after Labor Day. So of course, white is a little bit more common in the summer. Maybe not as common in the fall and winter. We see it a lot in linen, but a lot of times people wore white in the 1800s to be cooler. And that's what we go for. But being that it's, you know, not the 1800s, it's okay. It's okay to wear white after Labor Day. So we're gonna wear white. We're not gonna go heavy with the white because we wanna bring out those rich fall tones that complement all of our skin complexions. We wanna look fall, we wanna look appealing, we wanna look pleasing, and I'll get into more fall tips for the professional dress later. But you know, don't feel like you have to use every piece of white in your closet. And remember, ivory is your friend. So these are my tips. Yeah, you can wear white after Labor Day. Just be conscious about the white that you wear and where you're going to wear white and what you touch when you wear white. So I got a couple of questions that I want to address. First of all, the question was, can I do white shoes? Let's be very careful with the white shoes. White tennis shoes, okay, I know especially the guys like to have that clean shoe with their fit and all that good stuff. Just be careful. Don't go out wearing an all white shoe that looks the slightest bit dirty, and don't clean your white shoe with bleach. Okay, all right, so the second question that we have is mixing whites. For me, that's an absolute no-no. It just kind of looks like some of your clothes are clean and then other parts of it is dirty, especially depending on what skin complexion you are. So like mixing a cream with a white or mixing an ivory with like a bright white, cocaine white, pick one or the other. Make sure your whites match. Do not wear one white top with the wrong white bottom because one, it's evident that you didn't take your time trying to find the outfit for whatever occasion you feel like you have to go to in all white. And number two, it could imply that some of your clothes are not clean. We don't want that. Three, it could imply that you should have taken your garment to like the cleaners, like it just wasn't properly taken care of. It just can imply all kinds of different things, and it's a huge eyesore. But it's something that nobody will ever directly tell you to your face. They'll just be distracted by it whenever they're talking to you, right? As far as professional dress, I don't really like white shoes. I don't own a pair of white dress shoes. I have this little saying, white shoes they're a little country for me. Now, like an ivory satin pump to go with your wedding dress, let's do that. But for anything else, no. Try to avoid whites and nudes as far as shoes for the fall and winter. That's just like a general or unless it's for like a special occasion or something like that. I especially don't like to see white or nude shoes with a black or dark bottom like navy. It's just whatever that pant is, it should depict your shoe. So make sure you've got, you know, your nude pump for the spring, summer months and your black pump for the other months. Try to make it neutral, not patent, so that you don't have to worry about whether it looks cheap or not. And it's always something that you can use no matter what the texture of your fabric is. Make sense? All right, so if you loves have any other questions, just let me know down below in the box. Until next time, see you later, fashionistas. It's your girl D Thomas, Yours in Fashion.